Do not watch alone. Some things only strike in silence. The first time it happened, I thought it was just a nightmare. I woke up suddenly, heart pounding, breath stuck in my chest, my body drenched in cold sweat. My hand reached for the phone on the nightstand. 2:43 a.m. No alarm, no vibration, no sound, just awake. I lay there staring at the ceiling, waiting for my heartbeat to slow down. That strange feeling was back, the kind you can't explain. Like something terrible had already happened, and my body remembered it before my mind did. I tried to sleep again. I couldn't. From that night onward, I woke up every single night at exactly 2:43 a.m. Not 2:42, not 2:44, always 2:43. At first, I joked about it. People wake up randomly all the time, right? But randomness doesn't repeat itself with such precision. By the seventh night, I stopped laughing. I started experimenting. I turned my phone off before sleeping. I removed every clock from my room. I slept facing the wall. I slept with all the lights on. None of it mattered. My eyes always opened on their own. And even without checking the time, I knew. It was 2:43 a.m. It felt like the night itself was whispering the time directly into my skull. On the 12th night, something changed. I woke up as usual, 2:43 a.m. But this time, I wasn't alone. At first, I thought it was just a shadow, a darker shape in the corner of my bedroom. My eyes adjusted slowly. The shape didn't move, didn't breathe, didn't flicker like normal shadows do. Then it shifted, and my stomach dropped. It wasn't a shadow. It was me. He stood in the corner, half hidden by darkness. Same height, same face, same clothes I had worn the day before. But his body was wrong. Blood soaked his shirt, dark and fresh, clinging to his chest. His skin looked pale, almost gray. His eyes were sunken, red, and empty, like he hadn't slept in years. Or like he had already died. I tried to scream. Nothing came out. He looked straight at me and spoke. His voice was weak, broken, like it had crawled out of a grave. "You can't save me." Then he disappeared. No sound, no movement, no trace. The corner was empty again. I didn't sleep after that. I sat on my bed until sunrise, shaking, replaying his face in my head. My face. The blood. The way he said those words. Not angry, not scared. Resigned. Like someone who had already accepted his fate. The next night, I told myself it wouldn't happen again. It did. 2:43 a.m. This time, he was closer. Standing near my wardrobe. The blood looked fresher. Dripping onto the floor. He slowly raised a trembling hand and pointed behind me. "It happens here." Then he vanished. Night after night, the visions became clearer, sharper, more detailed. I started experiencing things before he even appeared. The sound of metal scraping, the smell of rust and blood, a cold pressure tightening around my throat. And worst of all, I began remembering things. That hadn't happened yet. I went to a doctor. They said it was anxiety, a sleep disorder, stress. They prescribed pills. The pills didn't stop 2:43 a.m. I checked the security cameras in my apartment building. On one recording, at exactly 2:43 a.m., I saw myself standing in the hallway. Not walking, not moving, just standing there, staring directly into the camera. The timestamp showed I had been there for 9 minutes. I don't remember leaving my apartment. Then the hospital called. They asked why I had missed my follow-up appointment. I told them I never had one. There was a long pause. Then the woman on the line said, "Sir, according to our records, you died last week." That night, when I woke up at 2:43 a.m., he was sitting on my bed, so close I could smell the blood. He leaned forward, his hollow eyes locked onto mine, and whispered, "Tomorrow night, you become me." And that's when I realized something far worse than death. This wasn't a warning. This was a memory that I didn't sleep at all after that night. How could I? Every time I closed my eyes, I saw him. Myself, sitting on my bed, covered in blood, whispering words that felt less like a threat and more like a countdown. "Tomorrow night, you become me." Morning came, but it didn't feel real. The sunlight looked flat. The air felt wrong, too quiet, like the world was holding its breath. When I checked my phone, my hands started shaking. I had notifications, messages, missed calls, all sent yesterday night, from people I hadn't spoken to in years. One text stood out. "Ethan, is it true?" No context, no explanation, just fear. I went outside to clear my head. That's when I noticed something terrifying. People were staring at me. Not casually. Not curiously. They stared the way you look at something that shouldn't exist. A woman dropped her coffee when she saw me. A man crossed himself. Someone whispered my name. They knew me, but not as someone alive. I rushed to the nearest hospital. I needed answers. At the reception desk, I gave my name. Ethan Miller. The nurse froze. Slowly, she looked up at me. Her face drained of color. She didn't speak. She just turned her monitor toward me. On the screen was my face. My photo. Below it, one word burned into my eyes. Deceased. Time of death, 2:43 a.m. Cause, severe trauma. I stepped back. That's a mistake, I said. I'm right here. The nurse whispered. Oh my God. Security was called. They escorted me out. Not violently, not angrily, but gently, like you handle something fragile. Like a ghost. That night, I didn't go home. I sat in my car, parked under a streetlight, watching the clock on the dashboard. 2:41 a.m. My heart felt like it was going to tear itself apart. 2:42 a.m. The streetlight flickered. 2:43 a.m. The world went silent. Suddenly, I wasn't in my car anymore. I was standing in a narrow hallway. Cold concrete walls. Flickering fluorescent lights. The smell of rust. Blood. I knew this place. I had never been here before, but I remembered it. Footsteps echoed behind me. Slow. Heavy. Wet. I turned around. He was there again, but worse. His body looked more damaged now. Bones pressing against torn skin, blood dried and cracked like old paint. He smiled. Not cruelly. Sadly. You tried to avoid it, he said. That always makes it worse. I asked him what killed us. He tilted his head. You did. The lights went out. I woke up screaming in my car. The clock read 2:44 a.m. for the first time, but the relief didn't come, because something had changed. My hands were shaking, and they were wet. I looked down. Blood. Fresh. Not a lot, but enough. From that night on, time stopped behaving normally. Clocks skipped minutes. Reflections moved late. Voices answered me before I spoke. I started seeing scenes out of order. My funeral. My apartment covered in police tape. My mother crying over a body I couldn't see. And always, the hallway. I found CCTV footage online. News footage. The title made my stomach turn. Man seen walking after declared dead. The video showed me, or something wearing my body, standing in that same hallway, staring into the camera at exactly 2:43 a.m. Then I stepped forward, and the footage cut to black. The next time I saw him, he wasn't warning me anymore. He was guiding me, showing me where to stand, where to walk, where to fall. This isn't about stopping it, he said softly. It's about completing it. I realized the truth then. The loop wasn't punishment. It was correction. Time wasn't broken. I was done on the final night. I didn't resist. At 2:43 a.m., I walked into the hallway. The lights flickered. I stood exactly where I had seen myself standing. I felt the cold metal behind me. The pain came fast. Sharp. Final. As I collapsed, I saw him one last time. He looked peaceful. As he faded, I felt myself becoming clearer. More solid. More real. I woke up in my bed. Sweat-soaked. Shaking. I grabbed my phone. 2:43 a.m. In the corner of my room. Someone was standing. Watching. Bleeding. Waiting. I didn't wake up screaming this time. I didn't wake up at all. I was already awake. Already standing. Already waiting. There was no bed. No room. No walls. Just 2:43 a.m. Not the time. The place. The air felt thick, like it had weight. Every breath hurt. Above me, there was no sky. Only a vast, endless darkness filled with floating clocks. Some were broken. Some were melting. Some were ticking backward. Every single one read the same thing. 2:43 a.m. I tried to move. I couldn't. My feet were stuck to the ground, which looked like cracked glass. Inside the cracks, I saw moments from my life. Not memories. Endings. Different deaths. Different versions of me. One stabbed. One burned. One crushed. One hanging in that hallway. All of them frozen at the exact same second. A voice spoke. Not from one direction. From every moment at once. You are late. I asked where I was. The voice answered. You are where unfinished deaths wait. I felt something step behind me. I didn't turn. I already knew. There were hundreds of Ethans standing there. Some younger. Some older. Some barely human anymore. Their bodies were damaged in different ways. Missing eyes, twisted limbs, mouths stretched open in silent screams. Every one of them was me. Every one of them had failed to escape. One stepped forward. He looked the worst, barely holding together, like time itself was peeling him apart. "We thought we were special," he said. "We thought awareness meant escape." He smiled. "It doesn't." That's when I understood. I wasn't the first. I wasn't even unique. People like me existed everywhere. People who accidentally saw their own death before it finished. And time hates witnesses. The voice returned. A death must be completed. A loop must be closed. One version moves on. The rest stay. I asked which version I was. The answer crushed me. You are the replacement. The ground cracked open. I fell. Not down. Through moments. I fell through my childhood bedroom. Through my first nightmare. Through my first fear of the dark. I fell through every night I woke up at 2:43 a.m. And finally, I fell into the hallway. The hallway was alive now. The walls pulsed like veins. The lights flickered in rhythm with a heartbeat. I saw myself standing where I always did, watching the camera, waiting. That version turned and looked at me. Fear filled his eyes, just like mine once had. I wanted to warn him. I wanted to tell him to run. But my mouth opened on its own, and I heard myself say, "You can't save me." I realized the final truth. The future self never warned me. He was created by me. Every loop creates the next guide. Every victim becomes the next messenger. Pain exploded through my chest. Cold metal. Pressure. Darkness flooding in. As I collapsed, something strange happened. The pain stopped. The fear stopped. I felt complete. I stood up. Uninjured. Whole. Alive. The hallway faded. The clocks disappeared. I was back in my bedroom. My bed. My phone on the nightstand. I checked the time. 2:44 a.m. I laughed. I cried. I was free. Days passed. Weeks. I slept normally. I stopped checking the clock. I stopped fearing the night. Until one evening, I noticed something strange. My shadow felt heavy. At night, I woke up suddenly. Heart pounding. Sweat cold. I reached for my phone. 2:43 a.m. Impossible. I turned slowly toward the corner of my room. Someone was standing there, bleeding, watching me. Me. He whispered the words I now understood perfectly. "You can't save me." That's when I realized. I didn't escape the loop. I became part of what maintains it. 2:43 a.m. doesn't kill people. It uses them, somewhere tonight. Someone else will wake up suddenly. No alarm. No sound. Just fear. And the time will already know their name. Time isn't linear. Time isn't kind. Time doesn't forget. It waits. And it knows your name. I thought I had escaped. I thought waking up at 2:44 a.m. was freedom. But I was wrong. The first sign came subtly. My shadow didn't move like normal shadows. It stretched unnaturally, lagging behind me like a living thing. It didn't follow my movements. It anticipated them. It smiled. Then the whispers began. Soft at first. Almost comforting. "Ethan, you can't save me. 2:43 a.m. is hungry. It will eat you if you resist." I tried to ignore them. I tried to live normally. I went outside. I worked. I slept. But I never truly slept. The moment my eyes closed, the hallway appeared. Every time. Always 2:43 a.m. Then I noticed something impossible. Other people. Shadows I didn't recognize. They were moving in corners of my vision. At work. On the street. In reflections. Some were alive. Some were clearly dead. And all of them whispered my name. "Ethan, you can't save me." I returned to my apartment one night, desperate for answers. The walls were breathing. Veins of black, red, and silver twisted across the plaster. I could hear my own heartbeat echoing from inside them. The floor pulsed. Every step I took sounded like a scream. I tried to leave. The hallway extended infinitely. No door. No window. Just the hallway. And me. And the shadows. Then I saw them. Hundreds of Ethans. All failed versions. All lost. All trapped. Some decayed. Some bleeding. Some screaming silently. They looked at me. "You were supposed to warn us," one said. "You were supposed to escape." I tried to run. The hallway moved. The shadows followed, forming shapes, hands, faces, claws, trying to drag me back. I felt it then. The core of 2:43 a.m. It was alive. It was conscious. It was hungry. It had consumed countless lives. Every death it created became part of it. Every victim was folded into its corridors. Every me I had seen before was a memory it kept for itself. And now, I was part of it. I screamed. No sound came out. I ran. But the hallway extended forever. I fell through broken time loops. My childhood, my first death vision. Every night, I had woken up at 2:43 a.m. It was endless. It was infinite. It was me, dying in every way imaginable, over and over. Finally, I reached the end, or what I thought was the end. A figure stood waiting. Horrible. Perfect. The culmination of every Ethan who had failed. Do you understand now? You are not alive. You are never free. I tried to scream again. The shadows pulled me into the floor. I felt myself splitting, folding, being consumed. And then, I understood the cruelest truth. 2:43 a.m. doesn't kill. It doesn't release. It only feeds. It takes the witness. It eats the name. It moves on to the next. And then it waits. For the next Ethan. For the next you. I woke up. Again. At 2:43 a.m. In my room. The same bed. The same phone. The same shadow. And a whisper in my ear. You can't save me. I looked around. The corner was empty. But I knew it wouldn't be empty for long. The time was alive. The loop was eternal. And I was trapped. Forever. If you enjoyed this horror story, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on the bell icon for more terrifying stories.